Hello, everybody's talked about the atmosphere here at the Smith Spectrum, how great it is, and it has been outstanding tonight. The opening night of college basketball. So far, Utah State on top of USC 40-33. As we get set for the second half, Andy Enfield, the head coach of USC, has been kind enough to join us. All right, Andy, right off the bat, what adjustments do you have to make going into the second half?
We made some crucial defensive mistakes in the first half. We gave some open jump shots and also hurt in transition 3 times. So really the defensive end, we gave up 40 points. They're an excellent offensive team, and they take great shots. We just had to defend them and rebound.
Andy, they're shooting 57% from the field, Utah State. You think you might try a little more zone or mix it up? What do you think the second half?
Well, it wasn't our what we were playing man or zone. It was our defensive mistakes when we were in each. So we'll try to mix it up this half, but we got contested shooters that do a better job, run them off the 3-point line.
All right, Andy, thank you. Good luck second half. Andy Enfield, of course, the head coach of USC, in his first game with the Trojans, along with Pete Gillen, who's made more than 1 million adjustments during his college coaching career. Some good, some not so good. What do you think going into the second half?
Well, I think right now USC's got to keep running, keep attacking off the dribble. Utah State can't guard them off the bounce, but they got to mix it up. I think play a little zone and cover Butterfield and Midland and take your chances from downtown.
Well, we mentioned during the outgoing of the first half that Utah State has been able to disperse their offense nicely. They really have. Spencer Butterfield is one of those guys. Not only has he been able to shoot, but he's also been able to distribute.
Really share the ball. 7 assists. They're really sharing the basketball. You got to get them out of the rhythm. Right now, Utah State's in great offensive rhythm.
All right, we talk about some of the stats from the first half. Points off turnovers. Utah State has 9 compared to USC's 3. You think 2 of 11 from beyond the arc. If they're going to take threes, they've got to start making threes.
Got to do a much better job shooting from downtown. JT Terrell's playing great for USC. He's got to have a great second half, and they got to stop Butterfield.
And Byron Wesley, who's been kind of quiet for USC, he needs to get things going in the second half as well. All right, Utah State with the ball as we begin the second half. Utah State on top by 7. Taking a look at the defense for USC, a little zone.
Right, you got to pick your poison against Utah State. They execute great in their half-court man. You've got to defend the 3-point shooters, Butterfield and Medlin.
The 2 big men inside, Kyle Davis and Jared Shaw. The shot clock is down to 12. Here's Rowland open for 3. Good! He was left a little too open on that 3-pointer.
Yep. It's again, 4 for 10, 40%. So they're tough. They execute man offense well, and they can knock down the 3. So it's really tough to try to stop this Utah State Aggie team.
All right, that's their 4th 3-pointer of the night. Hand-checking foul called on Butterfield as Wesley was heading toward the cylinder. So a fresh 35. It's the 2nd personal foul on Butterfield.
Yeah, you can't keep your arm on him, Tom. We talk about that in the first half. You can't keep that arm on the offensive player.
Medlin right to the basket. Orabi with the rebound. He was thinking about giving that ball off, but then decided to go right to the hoop, and there's the answer for USC. So we talked about Byron Wesley getting into the mix, and he has the first bucket of the second half for USC.
Right. Struggled the first half, 1 for 6. Maybe they'll get him going the second half a little bit.
Here's Butterfield. Kicks it out for Medlin for 3, and it's good. Back-to-back threes for Utah State.
Shooting makes up for a multitude of sins. Largest
lead of the night for the Aggies. Now the 3-point attempt is no good, and the rebound for Rollins. Now this is where USC has to be careful. Obviously, the first 5 minutes of both the first and second half are important. But for USC, they can't let this game get away. Medlin, a free pass right to the basket. And a timeout call by Andy Enfield. Well, this is exactly how any coach would want his team to begin the second half. The way Utah State is beginning it, 2 threes, including that one by Medlin. Largest lead of the night for the Aggies.
It's opening night. The road to the Final Four starts tonight.
And the Final Four will be in Dallas, Texas this year. And, hey, let's face it, the NCAA tournament is where dreams are made. And obviously, Andy Enfield saw that dream last year. Who knows if one of these two teams can make their way to the NCAA tournament and eventually the Final Four in Dallas, Texas. Utah State off to a good start. Stu Morrill's squad in their 2 exhibition games, Pete, 10 threes in each of those games. Well, they have 5 threes in this ball game, including 2 in the second half, and they're halfway there, and that's been one of the big differences tonight.
Exactly, really knocking them down from three-point land.
48-35 the score. USC with the ball, and Jovanovic, his soft jumper is no good. Medlin with the rebound. Medlin has one of those threes. Here's Butterfield, the entry pass to Shaw. Shaw backs his way in, double team, loses the ball, and Orabi loses it out of bounds. Shot clock would not reset, though.
Slips out of his hands. Orabi got to grab that.
Well, we assumed that Shaw would be a focal point offensively for Utah State. He hasn't had many touches, but they haven't needed to give him many touches.
No, he got a lot of balance. Right now, Utah State is shooting 3 for 4 from the field in the second half, and USC is only 1 for 4.
We said the shot clock did not reset for Utah State. Here's Medlin. There's a triple team, and he's called for traveling with 10 on the shot clock, and that's the first turnover of the second half for Stu Morrill's squad.
Big Stu didn't like that. He might have got fouled. I don't think the rest saw the angle there.
Stu Morrill has been a fixture here in Logan, Utah. In fact, he was roasted this past September to raise money for the Hope Foundation here in Logan, Utah. 3-point attempt for USC. It's an air ball. Jacobs with the weak side rebound. And a little gimme missed by Wesley. And the steal by Butterfield. USC is ice cold from beyond the arc, and that's part of the reason why Utah State has a 13-point lead.
He's going to take their time, get good shots.
Medlin gets a good look at the basket, his second 3 of this half, and his 3rd overall.
He loves the crowd. He's very emotional when he gets going.
51-35, Orabi double team, kicks it outside for Wesley. Wesley stops, pops, no good. Rebound pulled down by Butterfield. Butterfield peering. Oh, what a pass inside to the diving Shaw. Well, what a run to begin the second half. It's a 13-2 run for Utah State. Terrell's jumper no good. Orabi's putback is good, and he's fouled.
That's their best offense, Tom. His second shots for USC.
Second team foul this half. Now in for the Trojans, number 2.
Tremendous pass to Shaw. Big guys run the court. If the big man runs, you got to feed him. Let the big dog eat. Get him the ball.
Well, Jared Shaw checks out here in the second half. You know, after last season when he averaged a little more than 14 points per game, he said, I've never played on a team where I was the key factor of that team. Well, obviously things have evolved here at Utah State as Orabi converts the 3-point play and he checks out.
Yeah, when Medlin went down and Reed went down, the senior, Shaw and Butterfield, as you know, stepped up and became second-team all-WAC players and on the all-newcomer team in the WAC.
Well, Stone checks in for him. Substitutions for USC. They include Rashawn Prince, and there's a 3. Good by Medlin. And now a blocking foul called on Medlin on the opposite end. Well, we talked about threes being a factor in the first half. Pete, they're becoming more of a factor here.
Nice pass inside to Shaw. They also going to knock it down from downtown. They do it all, inside, outside for the Aggies.
Tomorrow's conversations start tonight. Get the latest word in sports on Leadoff with Doug Gottlieb and Allie LaForce tonight at midnight Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Well, you see that score. It's an 18-point margin, and partly because Utah State, Pete, they are firing and connecting from 3.
Knocking him down. Great ball movement. Here's Rowland, junior college player. really adopted a second year. Butterfield, who shot 42% from three-point land last year, is a great three-point shooter. Medlin, who's the best shooter on the team, hits another one. Here he comes off the screen. So really tremendous teamwork, Tom, really sharing the basketball. These guys are on fire. And last year they shot about 35% from three-point land. This year, I think they're a much better three-point shooting team.
Well, at least at this point, 6 of 12 from beyond the arc. They lead at 56-38. Byron Wesley to the free throw line, makes the first. He'll get 2. That's his 3rd point of this half.
And they're a tough team to come back on, Tom, because they handle the ball well, they run their offense. You know, they're really, really well disciplined. 1-2-2 press here now by Southern Cal, trying to get some points off their defense.
Now, will they fall back into a zone after this?
Yeah, probably back into the zone, Tom.
It's a 1-2-2 zone that they fall back into. Off that 1-2-2 press.
You sound like a coach, Tom. You had a great career in junior high. We can't go into it. We don't have the time for your accolades, but I was your assistant for one day. We had fun.
Well, the accolades would be short. We know that. Shot clock is down to 7. Medlin peeks up and takes a look. Now at 5. Long-range 3, no good. And the rebound by Wesley. 16-point lead for Utah State. Byron Wesley trying to find an opening. Gives it off to Jacobs, the freshman. Now Rashawn Prince, another freshman. The 2003 High School Player of the Year in the state of California. And another missed 3 for the Trojans.
Now, I don't know where the points are going to come from Southern Cal. Now Terrell's out, Arabi's out.
Medlin with the drive, the pass to Butterfield. Back to Medlin. This is where they can run some clock if they choose to. Looking for that right shot.
Yeah, just being patient. They want to control the tempo. Still a long way to go.
Rowland is fouled up top.
Foul number 12, Julian Jacobs.
Julian Jacobs called for his first personal foul.
Correction.
Oh, excuse me, Brendan Taylor.
His first team foul.
Jalen Moore checks back in. And Butterfield checks out. Also in is Danny Berger. Fresh 35 for the Aggies. Utah State getting set to play their first season in the Mountain West Conference.
It's a big step up from the WAC. WAC is a good conference, but the Mountain West was the 3rd-rated conference in the country at the end of the season, the RPI. Number 1 was the Big Ten. Number 2 was the Big East. The 3rd was the Mountain West.
Well, how about the fight right there by DJ Held? He gets the rebound for USC. Taylor working it up top for Jacobs.
Wesley's got to score.
Well, there he goes, takes the 3, no good. And the rebound for Jalen Moore. Utah State's left the door open these last couple of possessions. And now USC in transition, 3-on-2. Jacobs with big step, finger roll, no good. But Byron Wesley with his 3rd bucket of this half. All right, now all of a sudden it's back to 14. The goal is to get it back to single digits and then see what happens from there.
Back to the zone now. A little change of pace. Try to get him out of the rhythm. Got to watch Medlin now. He's the guy that's on fire.
Berger in the corner. Good steal by Stone and the steal by USC. Jacobs down low. Now here is Rashawn Prince with his first bucket of his collegiate career. Now 56-44. It's a 12-point game, and Utah State calls a timeout.
Yep. Coach Morrow put in some of his subs. Wants to get some of the young guys some experience. But, you know, they made some mistakes, defensive mistakes. So now he's going back with Kyle Davis and some of the other guys.
Well, we talked about the football games coming up tomorrow. Well, join CBS Sports Network and USAA as we salute our veterans all week long. Tomorrow, of course, Navy will host Hawaii. Army is in action tomorrow. Of course, Monday is Veterans Day, so a holiday for a lot of folks, but also the chance to thank, remember, and praise all those who are in harm's way, away from and even in the United States.
Yep. Somebody's protecting us now, so we can be at this game tonight having fun, Tom. Somebody's in a boat, in a plane, watching to protect us, so can't do enough for our armed forces.
Well, 56-44. USC has changed up its lineup a little bit. Utah State, meanwhile, puts more of their regulars back in, including Kyle Davis and Medlin on the floor with Rowland and Berger. And the big man Jordan Stone. Utah State with the ball. And their lead is down to 12. Plenty of time left in this ball game. Rowland loses control. Howard nearly stole it. Here's Medlin, who's fouled. He's fouled from behind. Well, we've heard a lot about Preston Medlin on the Bob Cousy watch list, and he has been a lot of fun to watch here tonight.
Tremendous. He passes the ball here. He gets a nice jump shot, the penetration, packs the basket off the bounce, comes off the screen and knocks down a three. Very emotional play. He plays off the crowd. Very talented. He got hurt last January 17th. Broke his left wrist. He was playing 36 minutes a game for Utah State, Tom, and leading scorer 16 points a game. So they're glad to have him back healthy.
Well, I mentioned he came into this ball game 30 points away from reaching 1,000 for his career. He has 13, make that 14 tonight. And he gives Utah State a 13-point lead. 12 and a half to play. Not too many free throws for Utah State so far.
Utah State goes to their zone now. 1-1-3 zone, trying to match up the best they can.
That's not a bad idea. Force USC to continue to shoot from the outside where they've struggled so far. They're 2 for 17. And Medlin with the steal. He doesn't have numbers. Now he feeds the cutting Stone, who's fouled going up. And there's the adjustment to the blocking foul that we talked about early on.
Yep. Good hands by Medlin. He pushes it, rewards the big guy, Stone. Nice finish. The big man runs the court, you have to get him the ball. Otherwise, he'll go on strike. He won't run anymore. I had a lot of guys went on strike. That's why I'm on Boot Hill. You get the big guys the ball enough.
Stone misses the first free throw. Well, Pete, we talked about the new blocking foul. And we just saw maybe not exactly what the officials need to look at, but Keyshawn Howard didn't get position before Stone got in position to leave his feet and go to the baskets.
It's a new rule now. The defender has to be set, Tom, before the guy goes through his upward motion.
Right.
Not when he's in the air, before he starts his shot. When he goes into the upward motion, you got to be there.
Well, you explained it way better than I just explained it. That was outstanding.
Thank you, Tom. Once in a while, a blind squirrel finds an acorn.
Utah State leads it by 13. 11:45 to play here in the second half. They shot very well from beyond the arc. Another three for Butterfield, no good. Stone with the rebound, feeds Butterfield, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
And it's good. And one more. Fouls on Omar Oragi, his second.
Well, Jordan Stone off the bench, the junior center, has really filled a need tonight. Here he feeds Butterfield, who's fouled, gets the basket, and he'll have a free throw when we return. Next week, CBS Sports Network has two great basketball games. First, Wednesday at 7, Mount St. Mary's takes on Jay Wright's Villanova Wildcats. I'll be there with Steve Lapis. Then on Thursday at 10, number 6 Arizona and super freshman Aaron Gordon take on Steve Fisher's San Diego State Aztecs. That's all next week right here on CBS Sports Network as we're on the road to the Final Four. And it's a brand new road for these freshmen who are outstanding. Look at the debuts so far. Gordon's still playing for Arizona against Cal Poly. But look at the debuts tonight for some of those guys.
Unbelievable. Wiggins, 16 points, 6'8" forward. Julius Randle, maybe the best player in the country. Terrific, doing a great job. And Jabari Parker from Duke playing very, very well. Harrison from Kentucky playing well. So a lot of great young players, Tom. Freshmen.
Duke did not have an easy matchup tonight, at least on paper, against Davidson, a very good Davidson team. But Parker certainly looked like he was comfortable for the Blue Devils. Here's the alley-oop, cut off by Kyle Davis. He read the eyes. Davis gets it out to Berger, now to Butterfield. Back to Berger, a little bit of a size mismatch there.
That's good scouting by Utah State. They said, hey, after a timeout, they like to throw the alley-oop. They did, and they intercepted it.
9 minutes into the second half, Utah State maintains a 15-point lead. Butterfield fakes the three, 17-footer, no good. Rebound is off USC. Great battle. Berger battling down low with Chaz Bryant.
Nice pull-up jumper by Butterfield. No box out. Got to screen out. Neither team, Tom, are doing a great job screening out. Another angle. Sure almost had that. Arabi didn't box him out. Good hustle that time, but just couldn't quite secure the ball.
So first 35 for Utah State. Marcel Davis checks back in. On the floor with Kyle Davis, Butterfield. Butterfield's fouled in the paint. Rashawn Prince called for his personal foul. JT Terrell thought it was against him, but it was against Prince. Berger down low to Davis. Davis trying to get position, does, and a little kiss off the glass. Kyle Davis grew up a Utah State fan, went to Southern Utah, then went to his Mormon mission for 2 years. Once Roger Reed left Southern Utah, that allowed him to leave, and he decided to come here to Utah State. And after the bucket, he has a rebound, and that ball knocked out of bounds. Nice save by Pete Gillen. Just saved the monitors, Pete.
That's it. Saved my head. I almost got hit in the head with it.
So the Utah State ball. Here we are. Hey, everybody. There's the monitors. Pete saved. 10:17 to play. It's 62-44. Arabi is going to check out. DJ Haley will check back in. Looks like he's a little banged up.
Yeah. Might have hurt his calf, though. Looked like he was holding his calf.
Big 7'2" center. Gonna have a chance to play professionally at some point, somewhere. Here's Shaw in the paint, kicks it out for Berger for three. Well, it is raining threes here at Utah State. I guess we should have thought it would be after the 2 exhibition games. The block by Davis, but USC with a little perseverance from Byron Wesley. The thing is, Utah State is not a team that will live or die by the threes. They can get it inside if they need to. But
Shaw is their leading scorer from last year, the big guy, 6'10".
So Shaw and Preston Medlin both. Here's Butterfield, shot clock at 15. There you go, inside to Shaw. From 12 feet away.
These guys are tough.
Now it's a 21-point lead. JT Terrell for three. He's been quiet in this second half.
This Utah State had a great start to the second half. Southern Cal came out, they were cold. That was a big difference.
Well, there you see the three-point shooting in this half. 5 for 6 for Utah State. They were 3 of 9 in the first half. Now Jacobs off the rebound, up the floor, heads to the hoop, blocked away by Jared Shaw. But DJ Haley is fouled going up on the putback.
Nice job, Shaw is a terrific shot blocker. Last year was one of the best shot blockers in the WAC. 6'10", long, has good anticipation, good timing.
6 blocks for Utah State.
Right. He started out at Oklahoma State, wasn't playing that much, was there 2 years. Last year played well. Coach is on him to push him to be a little more aggressive, a little tougher, and he's adjusting. Very good player. He's under a great coach and Coach Morrow, and he's really using his talents.
Well, and getting tougher and tougher, as you said, is the key, particularly as they go into the Mountain West. Haley's first free throw, not a great free throw shooter, misses for the second time tonight. All right, how about this Mountain West, Pete? The fact that Utah State ventures there. Utah State and San Jose State enter the Mountain West. They're picked to finish 5th. Travel is better than with the WAC, but the competition is a little bit better, too, in the Mountain West. There's no doubt about that.
No question. And if they get in the tournament, Tom, they'll probably get a better seed because there's more respect for the Mountain West. If they come in 3rd or 4th, last year there was 5 teams from the Mountain West went to the NCAA tournament. 5 out of 9, 56%. Best percentage in the country of teams going to the big dance from a conference.
Well, now 11 teams as Haley gets a 3rd free throw because of a lane violation. And he gets that 3rd one to go down. So USC now 9 of 12 from the free throw line.
Yep. 3-quarter court press, 1-2-2 by Southern Cal, trying to get their defense to get their offense going. Because the offense is struggling.
Yeah, there's still time, but they haven't found any kind of rhythm to lead you to believe that the 8.5 left will lead to success.
No. Utah State executes so well. It's tough to come back from these guys.
Kyle Davis strong inside, misses but gets his own rebound, tries a second shot, and he's fouled going up by DJ Haley. All right, so Haley picks up the foul. He thought he had position. All right, we talk about the conferences. Let's compare a little bit, Pete. Pac-12, Mountain West. Give us your insights.
Well, RPI, 3rd the Mountain West, behind the Big Ten and the Big East. Pac-12 was 6th. Tournament 5 same. 20-win teams 5, 6 for the Pac-12, and winning percentage 62 to 58. So, I mean, last year the Mountain West was a better conference than the Pac-12. Pac-12 is a very fine conference, but the Mountain West was better. And it was the highest RPI rating ever for the Mountain West was 3rd, Tom. It was their final RPI rating at the end of the year.
New Mexico was picked to win the Mountain West this year.
Right.
We said that Utah State picked to finish 5th. USC, meanwhile, picked to finish 11th in the Pac-12.
Right. Once again, the change in styles. Andy got the job late, couldn't really recruit much. He has some good players, but I don't know if he has enough of them.
JT Terrell for 3.
JT Terrell.
So now 4 of 20 from beyond the arc for USC. A lot of fouls already for USC in this half. Near steal by Terrell. Moore for 3. He's trying to get into the mix. That was a little thud off the side of the rim. Door open a little bit here for USC?
Yeah, just take your time. It's a long way to go. We got a big mountain to climb, but I keep going to JT Terrell. He's hot. He's their best scorer.
Do you still keep taking threes, too? I mean, they're 4 of 20. There's Terrell. And his kiss off the glass is no good, but he's fouled going down with the rebound.
Yep. I still go with him, Tom. He's their own scorer. He's their best scorer. They got to go with the big.
68-52, USC down by 16 with the ball when we return. Well, there's our AT&T game summary. There's a lot of stats that really jump out. I think most notably the 3-point field goals for Utah State. 8 of 16, including 5 here in the second half.
And we see Southern Cal only 4 of 20, which is not very good. Points off turnovers, 11. Utah State did a nice job with that. JT Terrell is keeping him in the game. Without him, Southern Cal would be even worse trouble.
All right, we talked about the newcomers that USC has, including their head coach, Andy Enfield. Well, JT Terrell is one of those guys that they were really relying on, or will rely on this year, and they're going to need him to keep going offensively to get back into this game.
He's the scorer. He's the guy that can really score. He's a pathological shooter. He's going to shoot it no matter what, Tom. You know what I mean? But he can score. He's hot and cold, but he's the guy that got to get him back in the game. I'd like to see Byron Wesley give him a little more help. There's Terrell coming out of the huddle, and he's streaky. You know what I mean? Sometimes his shot selection isn't good, but he's got to have the green light now to try to get the Trojans back in the game.
Well, you see that C on his jersey. He, along with Orabi, one of the captains, or 2 of the captains for this USC team. Jacobs, the freshman, will inbound the ball along the baseline. Orabi, who was banged up earlier, is back in the game. He's on the doorstep of a double-double, 11 points, trying to get to the basket strong, and they're a traveling violation against him. Oh, was it a pretty nice move, but I guess when you take that extra step, it's a little easier. There's the 3-point shooting that we've been talking about. Surprisingly, Utah State leads with points in the paint. They tend to run some time and find that ideal shot. Boy, Davis was open along the baseline. They didn't see him. Here's Marcel Davis, his runner, no good. But Jordan Stone, who's had a very good night, is there on the weak side to lay it off the glass.
Real nice depth by Utah State. The benches really helped them a lot, Tom.
We asked you more about that today at shoot-around, and he said, no, depth is good if guys perform, and I think tonight they performed. Foul is going to be called against Utah State.
There's the alley-oop, back screen. Terrell went up, but got bumped that time by Moore. Jalen Moore is going to be a good player. Just right now, he's a little young. He's green. He's a freshman. He's from Smithville, Utah, right nearby here. So a little extra pressure on a young man playing at home. But he's going to be very good. It's going to take him a little time. He's got to get a little stronger.
Keyshawn Howard checks back in for USC. Moore checks out for Utah State. Danny Berger checks back in. There's Keyshawn Howard off the inbounds. He's been quiet offensively. Jacobs to Orabi, and he's fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Foul is on Jordan Stone.
They'll give that to Jordan Stone. That's his first personal foul. All right, so we have free throws, Pete, for the rest of the half. You see the bonus underneath each team. The possession arrow belongs to USC at this point. Following the timeouts, they're below each team on your screen. 3 for USC, 3 for Utah State. And Orabi converts the first free throw, so he has 12 points.
What you got to do now, Southern Cal, got to get some turnovers. Get the defense to get their offense going. Utah State's taking great care of the ball. Only 6 turnovers so far.
Orabi makes both free throws. Utah State just 50% from the line, but they have been excellent from beyond the arc. Stone wanted that ball from Medlin as he set the screen and slipped to the basket. Butterfield gives it off to Berger. Inside for Stone. Strong catch. And the foul by Orabi.
Foul is on Julian Jacobs.
So they call a foul on Julian Jacobs.
Yeah. Because he reached first.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. There's Jacobs. Stone, left-handed shooter, makes the first free throw. Yeah, they'll take a look at his line when the night's over. You know, they'll say single digits in points, single digits in rebounds. But I think what he has been able to do inside, passing the ball, cutting off the defense, cutting off the offense, I should say, it's invaluable.
Stone's been terrific. Really, a lot of hustle plays, very aggressive.
72-55. Utah State on top. A little zone by Utah State. And another missed 3 by Terrell and the Trojans. Well, this is what you talked about, Pete. You know, they can shoot early if they choose to, but they can also run the clock as Howard picks the pocket. Here comes Wesley. Finger roll. Good. Lays it off the back of the rim. He almost ran right past the rim.
Yep. That was atypical. Usually Utah State takes good care of the ball. That was good defense by the Trojans.
Well, 7 turnovers now, which isn't bad.
Tremendous. Anything under 10, Tom, is a terrific evening.
Rolling for 3. No good. And the rebound by Jacobs. He has numbers. Here's Howard. Howard toward the paint. Spin move. Just threw it up. And a blocking foul called on Utah State. Quite honestly, Howard should not have made that move to the basket, and the officials, I think, just helped him out on that.
He got bailed out. Yeah, he got bailed out. As Howard was in, probably that was a charge. I think the referee made a mistake on that one.
Yeah, but Howard will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, he got lucky.
Well, what happened is he stepped on the foot of Rowland. So Rowland called for the foul. Howard, no points tonight. First free throw attempt. Pete, he's shooting into the student section, which includes a rabbit and a chicken.
Looks like a gorilla.
And a gorilla, too. I forgot the gorilla.
Hope they go to class, too, besides having fun.
And he makes both. Doesn't matter which animal is back there. He's not going to discard his concentration.
Got to keep the defense up, try to get some steals and get some easy baskets.
Well, Chaz Bryan trying to play hard, tight defense for USC. Called for the foul. So that'll stop the clock. Free throws for Utah State. Jacobs is going to check back in for USC. So Chaz Bryan checks out.
Got a box now if you're Southern Cal.
Free throw is good. Rowland converts. It's a 14-point game. Eddie Enfield made sure he reminded us of this. The first Pac-12 team to play at Utah State since 1977. Utah State and USC faced each other in football this year. So this was part of the package.
Right.
The home and home, this flexible home and home with basketball.
Very tough place to play. One of the toughest places to play in the country right here, Logan, Utah.
A lot of times coaches don't have a say in which game they're going to schedule for their first one. But Andy Enfield said, listen, I haven't been around that long. The game was on the schedule.
Yeah.
This is a tough one for any team.
Yeah.
74-61 the score. USC is leading on second chance shots or second chance points, and they just had a bucket there. You okay with the defense USC's playing right now, down by 13?
They don't have great quickness in there, so he's going to play solid.
3 minutes and 44 seconds to play. Can USC put together a run? We'll find out when we return.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, back here at Utah State, the Aggies lead the Trojans 74-61. All right, now it's time to put a stamp on it. You can't change, Pete, from here until Dallas. Here are your final 4 picks.
This is my story. I'm sticking with it, Tom.
You like Michigan State?
Love Michigan State. Tom Izzo, great coaches. Harris dialing up a downtown shot. Kentucky, one of the best recruiting years ever with Randall and Harrison, and a terrific Duke. Coach Krzyzewski, great coach. Jabari Parker, terrific player in Louisville. Smith doing a great job attacking the basket. So reckless Rick Pitino trying to win another title. So that's my final 4 picks, Tom, and I'm sticking with it.
Well, after Duke scored 111 points tonight, I think that's a very safe pick on your part.
I think it's safe. Yeah.
111 points against Davidson.
Yeah, it's
a lot of points.
Coach K lost his top 3 scorers, Tom. How does that happen?
Here's Howard for 3. It's short. Grazes the front of the rim. And Kyle Davis with the rebound. Davis now 8 points and 6 rebounds.
Duke comes at you in waves and waves. You need a lifeguard to play against those guys. They're brutal.
They probably even have a lifeguard on the bench, too.
I needed one when I went into Cameron Indoor. Needed a helmet, too.
3:15 to play. Well, there's a 3 by Jared Shaw, but Kyle Davis lays it in.
I tell you, I like the depth of Utah State. I think they got a lot of balance. Starting teams in there now, but I thought the bench did a great job for them.
And they needed to get them some minutes, just like any team would like to get their bench some minutes, some quality minutes.
They get foul trouble, injuries, different things happen.
Well, this is a 15-point game. Utah State has basically had the lead from the get-go.
Utah State, 4 seniors start, Tom. They got a lot of experience. They got a great coach, tremendous home court advantage. Tough to beat these guys here.
Don't forget they're without Ben Clifford, their junior forward, who's out with a stress fracture. When he comes back maybe the next 10 days or so. That'll help. Jacobs off the rebound. Wesley for 3, no good. Orabi with the rebound, and he lays it off the glass at a timeout called by Andy Enfield.
I really love Omar Orabi, young man from Egypt. He came a long way. I saw him when he played at Rice a couple of years, but now his second year at Southern Cal, he's done a great job.
Well, it's a 13-point game, and if USC is going to crack the home court advantage for Utah State, they need to do it pretty quickly. Now, these are some of the best home court advantages, Pete, in college basketball, and those are ones that you know about. Duke, Kansas, I mean, that's not surprising. Michigan State's not surprising with their Final Four floor. Gonzaga, that's a great place, not because of the name, but just a great place. But Utah State is one of those places.
The last 15 years, one of the toughest places to play in the country, along with those other great programs. This is why the students going crazy. Terrific coaching staff. They really know their role. They teach teamwork. A lot of assists, Tom. That wasn't an accident tonight. A tremendously well-coached team. Stu Morrow, I take my hat off to him. He's a coach's coach, one of the best coaches in the country, sequestered here in Utah. All-time
winningest coach here at Utah State. His team is up by 13. The clock is Utah State's friend at this point, with 2:05 and counting to play.
Yep. I try to run at the dribble, but it's tough. I've got a lot of young guys on Southern Cal. Julian Jacobs, a freshman, just learning. Haley just came in. Only been there a few weeks.
Here's Shaw, and Howard fouls him, even though he thought he had two hands on the ball.
Yeah. Nice bounce pass by Medellin. Looked pretty good, Tom. Might have got part of his wrist. We got a great camera crew here. Mark Grant, our director. I think that's a jump, Tom. What do you think?
I think that's what Keyshawn Howard thought, too.
Yeah.
Unless there was contact, which we didn't see on the inside.
Yeah. That was a tough call. Bang, bang. Officiating's tough, Tom. This crew, I thought, did a great job tonight. But it's tough. It happens so quick. The players are so big, so athletic, so talented. It's a tough job.
Garrett Shaw, 72% from the free throw line last year. Let's see it again.
Slow-mo. We got a great director, Mark Grant. I mean, he might have had a little wrist, but hand is part of the ball.
After the fact.
I say it's a jump. But what I say doesn't matter.
Well, sometimes it does. I mean, you just gave your Final Four picks. That matters.
That matters. Oh, yeah, that's a lock. That's the biggest lock since Yale started their company.
1:40 to play. Howard to the basket. It's good. A little freedom given by Tanal Rollins.
It's a great game for USC, Tom, to get ready for Pac-12 play. They're not going to play in a tougher environment than this. So get them ready.
Well, it's 78-65. Utah State on top. All right, does USC have to think about fouling at some point?
Yeah, they got to give some fouls now. 13-point lead. That's.
Rowland nearly turned the ball over. Shot clock is winding down. Here's Shaw against Orabi, blocked away. Shot clock inside 10. Berger for three, no good. Orabi with the rebound. We're under a minute to play. It's a 13-point ball game.
Got to shoot a three now. Shoot a three. Shoot it.
I don't know if Howard's the guy to do it, but
he's not, but he's got to take it. He's not the shooter, but you got to take it, Tom.
Well, Butterfield with the rebound, and that's pretty much it right there. There's just not enough time for USC. Here comes Butterfield with the fans chanting behind him. No good. Byron Wesley up the floor. JT Terrell tries to draw the foul on the three. 20 seconds and counting to play. And USC will allow Utah State to just run out the last 12 seconds. Well, what a beginning for Utah State, entering the Mountain West here in 2013. And they'll come away with a 78-65 victory over USC. As Stu Morrow's squad picks up win number 1 on the season.
Great win for Utah State. Excellent job sharing the basketball, knocking down threes. They're going to be a force in the Mountain West Conference.
Well, they showed not only diversity, but they also showed an awful lot of depth in tonight's ball game. 78-65, the final score. Utah State beats USC. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap things up from Logan, Utah.